So yes, today I'm going to be focusing on the Canadian Precision Health initiatives, but also talk about how it intersects with the Pan-Canadian Genome Library and other large initiatives currently ongoing in Canada in the precision health space. So on the slide here, title says that I'm Director Genomics Program, but as of next week, that will change to Mission Director Precision Health. So essentially, I'm at Genome Canada, responsible for the precision health portfolio. So I'm going to begin by a land acknowledgement. Those of you for Canada or other countries like Australia, New Zealand are well accustomed to that. But it's really important for us to recognize that, well, Genome Canada, first, our offices are located in Ottawa on the unceded traditional land of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people. And that as a national organization, we support activities located on the traditional territories of many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people across the country. This is really important for us to recognize that there's been past and ongoing injustice perpetrated against Indigenous people, and that is especially true, unfortunately, in the genomic space, and that we are really working closely with many communities and organizations across the country to make sure that looking forwards, the genomic research agenda can be set and done with Indigenous people for their own benefit and in a way that they can control their own data. And I will come back to that a little bit later. Okay, to provide you with a large high-level overview of the landscape for precision health in Canada, we can start by saying that we do have stability and that we are really much looking forward to establishing strong collaborations. Our governance model that fosters consensus building clearly makes us a reliable international partner. There's also currently many strategic opportunities. There's been major investment in precision health, such as the Canadian Precision Health Initiative, but not only, there's some other large investment done through our colleagues from the Canadian Institute of Health Research, many of whom have joined today, the call, but also other organizations that I will mention a little bit later. There's investment in genomic infrastructure, such as the Pan-Canadian Genome Library, a project started by CPHI, the Canadian Institute of Health Research, but that we're also strongly supporting. And there's also work done in data coordination to really create immediate collaborative pathway. There's also some convening power. We've been involved since the very beginning and for quite a long time in organizations such as ICPerMed and ICPerMed. We strongly believe into that, and that's like involvement from Genome Canada, but again, our colleagues from CIHR. And there's also some strong support to the Global Alliance for Genomics and Health. We are one of their main funders right now, and they're actually located very close to where I am today in Toronto, where they're registered as a not-for-profit here, stemming from the Ontario Institute of Cancer Research, OICR. So through activities such as those, we really demonstrate our commitment to multilateral precision health coordination. We also have complementary strength. I think that one of our biggest strengths is our diverse population, which is at the core of the CPHI, the Canadian Precision Health Initiative, as well as our universal healthcare system, and also our trade access, making us an ideal partner for translating personalized medicine research into clinical implementation. And finally, we can talk about being future focused. So despite all the current global uncertainty, we are making bold investments, and we really want to align that with international precision medicine priorities. So looking at Genome Canada more specifically, our overarching goal is really to translate genomic-driven biotechnology breakthroughs into transformative solutions for Canadians and international partners. So Genome Canada, we are operating at the federal level, so from coast to coast to coast. We are aiming to deliver transformative health, economic, and environmental solutions. So although health is one of our biggest portfolio, we are also investing in all the areas where you can find DNA that goes from forestry, mining, to the environment. So we do see ourselves as a global leader in biotechnology, innovation, and adoption, and our mission is to lead large-scale mission-driven genomic initiatives that translate research into real-world impact. So we want to contribute to building a strong genomics ecosystem in Canada, and also to connect industry, academia, and government to really foster powerful cross-sectors alliance. I've mentioned our mission-driven approach. So for the past 25 years, Genome Canada has been investing in genomic data generation, investing in large-scale research applied projects, having significant impact in their own field. But now, after 25 years with a vibrant genomic ecosystem, we're really working to coordinate and bring that together to tackle challenges that cannot be changed by single projects alone. So this is really a transformative view that we are embedded into our programs right now, and CPHI is one example of such transformative approach that we're now taking. So these mission approaches are anchored in our strategic directions. I will focus the rest of this presentation on the precision health one, but we do have current investment in agriculture and food, and we're about to launch in a week or two, knock on wood, in bioeconomy and natural resource new initiatives. And we are also we've been investing for many years in commercialization and adoption of genomic technologies. And I would say that very recently, along with the recent change within the structure of Genome Canada, we are going to include a fifth mission around the GELs, or all the environmental, economical, ethical, legal, and social aspects of genomics and society. One of the main challenges that we want to tackle with this precision health mission is the importance of increasing the diversity in genomic data bank to really achieve equitable health outcome in genomic medicine and precision medicine more broadly. So this is a very classical graph showing how genomes of European descent or ancestry are overrepresented in most databases around the globe. And we could think that that would, like, that overrepresentation would be reduced, but that's not what's being seen between 2016 and 2021. So, of course, consequences can lead for some different ethnicity to genetic misdiagnosis, gaps in the way pharmacogenomics can be applied, biases in our genotyping arrays, and lower accuracy of polygenic risk scores for some ethnicity. And again, this is a classical demonstration of that gap, where we see that the prediction accuracy for some polygenic risk scores in populations where these algorithms have been trained, so mostly European descent, stemming from the UK Biobank, are really accurate for European populations, but you can see clearly that this is not acceptable the way it can be applied to other populations, especially considering that many countries have a very diverse populations, especially looking here at Canada, and we do have a commitment to deliver equitable health outcome for all people living here in Canada. So this is really what led us, one of the main drivers that led us to launch the Canadian Precision Health Initiative, so our large mission there, with consequential investment to drive the creation of a biobank of, or a database of over 100,000 human genomes sequenced in 4 years. And that's done through 12 foundational projects. So we are not turning on the large-scale research applied projects investments that we're doing. So these are all their own, they have all their own strong scientific merit and will deliver strong impact in their respective field. But now with this mission-driven approach, we're bringing that together to build the CPHI. So the 100,000 genome data generation, this is really in the light blue here, the generating population level genomic data, the first larger step of that initiative, but that will work also with the second phase that will be launched and that we are currently engaging on to develop, that will allow to advance the outcome and utility of the genomic data And we are also working very hard right now to implement data governance and policies to ensure long-term accessibility to that genomic data to both private and public researchers, and really to make sure that the consent given by the participants can be respected, and making sure that their data is used in as broadly as possible through the years. So we are doing that to enhance healthcare options for all Canadians, to drive economic growth, and to strengthen health security and data sovereignty. And a few more words on that right now. We're not doing that to work in isolation, but we really recognize that in the current geopolitical context, we cannot rely solely on external sources of information to drive our research. So establishing that is critical for us to have that national sovereign data asset, but also to make sure that we can establish strong partnerships and work with other such like-minded initiatives across the globe. So just coming back here to the indigenous data governance that I've mentioned in the land acknowledgement. This is really guided by the principles of the United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous People, or UNDRIP. There's also other core principles and frameworks, such as the OCAP and CARE, that have been established that really guide our distinction-based work in that space, to really ensure that the genomic activities are led by Indigenous priorities and respect their the integrity of biocultural heritage and are rooted in the sovereign right of self-governance. So this is an ongoing work, and again, over the past few next months, we will the coming next month, we will continue our engagement in that space, and to really support the establishment of strong frameworks governing the genomics data for Inuit, Métis, and First Nations across the country. And we're also working closely with other international partners, such as our colleagues from Australia on such files. Here, at very high level, but just to give you a glimpse of what those 12 projects or what therapeutic areas or areas of focus these 12 projects are tackling. So this can be easily found on our website, or if you want more information, please reach out to me after this webinar. You can see that they're focusing on various therapeutic areas or various populations. One of the most important projects of our portfolio is, for example, on a cohort of Black Canadians, which is aiming to create the largest cohort of Black individuals that has been sequenced so far. And interestingly enough, there's one also that is on this call. There's some potential to establish some strong partnerships with the initiative that the South African MRC is also launching and spearheading in that space. So very exciting potential there looking forward. Okay, so far I've talked quite a lot about the Canadian Precision Health Initiative. We're clearly not, that mission is not working in silo. We are integrating that into the rich and complex Canadian genomic ecosystem. We are working very closely with the Pan-Canadian Genome Library, which will serve really to provide the strong governance framework, allowing the access and the control and security of all the CPHI data. And that is supported by the Digital Research Alliance of Canada, that is providing more the computer infrastructure to support and host all of that data in a sovereign way. So this constitutes the core of our research genomic data, the way we are conceiving it. This is not, again, working or supporting only the CPHI. There's other important projects, such as the Terry Fox Research Institute's Marathon of Hope, the TFRI MOH, focusing on cancer. So other consequential investment from the federal government in that space. There's also cohorts like the CGen HOSI that has been produced during COVID that is being integrated, ingested into the Pan-Canadian Genome Library, as well as other academic projects. And this can work in a federated approach through work done or standards established by the Global Alliance for Genomics and Health to link that to other, in a federated way, to link that with other national and international projects. So this is really the research genomic data space. So consented data of high quality, well structured with additional metadata. And this is working in close partnerships with the clinical genomics data. And there's other large initiatives that I won't go into detail here in Canada that are ongoing through partners such as CPHI, CHR, and other provincial initiatives to really make that clinical data also available for research. So there's really a role and a way to make sure that both type of research and clinical genomic data can really work complementary as we're moving towards more AI deployment and improving ultimately healthcare. So at Genome Canada, our current genomic research stewardship approach continue to support the strong data generation component that we've been doing for the past 25 years, but is now also focusing on the data ingestion and wrangling, working closely with the PCGL, the Pan-Canadian Genome Library, for example, and also with establishing a strong national data storage vault that we are doing with the Digital Research Alliance of Canada. All that to make sure that the data is as broadly as possible, is available as broadly as possible to data users, ultimately to really drive clinical, industrial, and societal impacts. I've mentioned that there's a second phase of investment coming that might be of particular interest for our Canadian colleagues here. So the second phase of investment, like I've mentioned, would really be to demonstrate and maximize the value and the application of the CPHI data and indigenous genomic data. So we are currently working with multiple data users to clearly define the goals and objectives of this investment phase, which will mostly focus on development of tools and technologies that can really be layered on to the PCGL to maximize the value again of that data. And obviously, we're looking forward working with like-minded initiatives across the country, the globe, to make sure that we're not duplicating and that we can leverage what's being developed elsewhere, or like bring what we will be developing to other initiatives. Looking beyond that, we will be working to growing that data sets on all these foundation blocks are established. And we are really seeing this as being essential to allow AI to revolutionize healthcare based on strong data assets. All that to drive innovation and economic growth. So to increase the genomic-based clinical trials by being able, for example, to identify subpopulations within a large data set to attract these trials, as well as to develop AI-based therapies and to deploy other type of AI health solution. And also to integrate across other sectors. I've mentioned our other missions. So clearly we want to see in the One Health approach how we can bring the agri-food security and resilience, the natural resource and climate change initiatives, and also the growing importance of the defense and biosecurity investments. So how we can bring that all together to create one cohesive genomic landscape looking forward. So I'm coming close to the end of the few slides that I had today. Again, I think that Canada has a strong genomic advantage, not that we are working alone around the globe in that space, but we do have companies such as Cohere that are emerging and offering alternative to the Anthropic and other current leading models that could be applied in different countries. And we do have also institutions like AMI, the Vector Institute, MILA, that really position ourselves well in the developing space of AI. And we're also developing some large-scale collaborations like the CPHI, but also like initiatives by other organizations such as the Terry Fox Research Institutes. And we're really working to build a coherent data genomic infrastructure. So how to access that data? In the green box here, you have the Secure Data for Health framework that supports the McGill Digital Research Alliance Data Center and the PCGL core. So all the governance framework that allows access to the data of the CPHI projects that will be made available or that is currently will very soon be ingested into that PCGL. Also linked with other national and federated data sets. And we're also working to the right on making sure that the access is as secure but as easy as possible for academic, private and international research community. So by establishing, for example, a strong structured research environment that will allow access to the PCGL data. And also providing some open data for other type of data users to provide allele frequencies for our the diversity of the genomic data present in the PCGL, for example. Okay, so we do have the CPHI. Of course, the goal to apply AI analytics to drive outcomes such as earlier diagnosis and economic and growth, IP creation, and all these aspects, but that's not working in isolation. So just to very briefly present that schematically, we are working along with other Canadian datasets, feeding that into the Pan-Canadian Genomic Library. And thanks to the Global Alliance for Genomics and Health standards, that can be linked with other international database to really improve the outcomes that we can generate from those genomic assets. So with that, I will thank you and I'm handing that back to you, Monica.